Hey up, troop. No, let me get rid of this barricade. Bear with me a second, sorry. Oh, it's miles better. Hey up, troops. It's A Littleton here again with another video. This time for the Elevate channel. It's good to see you. So we're going to be looking at spawn peaks across 4 ranked maps. Those maps are Oregon, Clubhouse, Bank, and Canal. And just a quick point of note, it's not all about, even though this is a spawn peak video, it's not all about learning the spawn peaks. This is also the other side of the fence, where to learn where people are spawn peaking from, so you can avoid the spawn peaks as well. That's enough of me waffling on. Let's get stuck right into it. Right then, so the first one we'll get cracking with is on Oregon, and you've got to be quick, not like me who's old. You've got to be fast in terms of reactions on this one. What we're looking for here is to see the attacker's knees go past this area here. If I just jump on the other keyboard and move sledge, so you can see his knees there. So we're looking for him there, but where you're going to get the spawn peak is where my crosshair is here. So you're going to be looking this area so you know they're coming, but then you want your crosshair to be here, so when they come past, there's the crosshair you want to be at, the area your crosshair wants to be. So you see the corner here, like the sort of corner of whatever that is, that sort of metal thing there. You want to be just above and to the right of that, and as you can see, that the bob on where he's going to be as he comes past. So as he walks past, you've just got to be quick. So we're over at the front door now, and whilst this one strictly isn't a spawn peak, it's right at the start of the round, so I'm going to include it. What we're going to be doing here is, you see the top of the top panel of the barricade there, the next panel down in the middle, 2-tap that. You're going to make a line of sight in the middle of the barricade. What we're looking for is when the enemy, I'll nip outside and show you, is when the enemy is pushing Master Balk, what they're going to do is jump onto the white van, onto the roof of the white van, and then across onto the Master Balk area. What we're going to be doing is tagging them as they get onto the Master Balk. Now, just one point of note is you're not going to be able to headshot them because the roof of the, like the sort of overhanging of the balcony is in the way. However, as and when they jump on to the white van, you're going to be able to get a decent amount of shots off, and if you've got a decent sort of fire rate gun like the MP5, you're going to be fine. So if I jump up onto the roof with sledge, you're going to see the angle that you're going to see there. You can see all the sledge. That's the angle they're going to be on just as they're going to jump into the Master Balk. As you can see there, he's about to vault across. And obviously don't stand in front of the door when you do this, because they're going to try and shoot the default camp, so you don't want to be standing here. But if you can stand on a bit of an off angle like this into classroom, you can definitely get a couple of shots. Depending what gun you've got, definitely do some damage to them. We're onto the games window now, and this one works really well as well. You want to be punching the window on the left-hand side of the X, just like this. Hop up onto the foosball table. Make sure you stay on the left-hand side of the foosball table, like down the sort of red line of the outside of it. If you step into the middle, you'll go lower down. As you can see, that when you go out onto the red bit on the outside, you end up standing up a bit higher. You want to be holding this angle here, and as and when the enemy comes past, if I just take control of sledge now, as the enemy comes past, you can see that's the angle you need to be looking at. It's not something that people, depending on what elo you play in, that people sort of check that off. And so as they're running past, just make sure you've got yourself ready for a little, oh dear. Make sure you hit the headshot. So we're over in Small Tower for the last one in Oregon, and all we're going to do is make a small hole in the bottom right-hand corner of the barricade. Remember to shoot to the right-hand side, so you hit the windowsill, you don't hit glass, and then the enemy, it's harder for them to see that the window's broken through the glass. But this caravan here, we want to be looking at the side of this caravan. This is where the enemies are going to come from, in this area here. So let me just, I know I'm not leaning, that's because I'm using sledge on the other keyboard. So as I'm about to come past this, you can just see Sledge's shoulder there. That's the angle you're going to get. They're going to come around here and start walking towards the building. So you've just got to get ready. You can take a bit of a wider angle if you want, but obviously the wider you are, the more chance there is of the enemy seeing you. But as you come around, that's where you want to be shooting. What I will show you just quickly is if you don't shoot, I'm going to show you the difference between if you don't shoot the glass compared to if you do shoot the glass. Nice Sledge. So if you're here as an enemy, it's quite hard to see that the bottom of that window has been opened, and the glass is still there. Obviously, if we get rid of the glass, I just think it becomes so much easier to see that the barricade's been hit. You can see from there now, you can see that the glass has been smashed. You can see bits of the window frame on the floor. I just think if you're doing a spawn peak, always make sure you leave the glass intact by doing, as I mentioned before, where you just shoot the side of the barricade like this. You got more chance of getting the spawn peak off. Also, it means you don't end up with a load of window frame at the bottom of the window like this. So we're on to Clubhouse then. We're over in stock, and this spawn peak is absolute filth. What you want to do is pop out the 2 barricades at top and bottom here. So you've got this angle, and what you're looking to do is either shoot the enemy as they pass through these pallets, or wait for them to get past the pallets beyond this red pole here. However, as they walk through the pallets, there is opportunities to ping them. So I'm going to walk forward with sledge from behind the pallets, and as you can see, if you spawn there, this gap here between these pallets is literally head height. So with the sledge there, I'm walking right past the edge of where I can, and those pallets are head height. So if you just get ready on this sort of area here, And as soon as they come past it, if you're not, I mean, if you're going to miss that gap, the next place is obviously here. But yeah, if you can get in between those pallets, it's so filth. We're over in garage now, and this one, it's difficult to hit, but it's very sort of risk-free. I've never been killed whilst trying to do this spawn peak, but you want to shoot the barricade above the X, the panel above the X there. Pop that middle one out, go back onto the stairs so you can get an angle. And you want to be looking at between the sort of bars of the kennel there. The enemy will be walking past this gap. As you can see, the kennel ends where this sort of green bar is here. Let me just make it bigger and it's easier to explain. So this is once the enemy gets past here, so you can use the in between the gaps to see where the enemy is and then start shooting once they get past this. Or if you're good enough, you can get in between the bars. I feel like I always end up hitting the bars, as you can see there. But we'll have a go. We just put the barricade as how it should have been. So the panel above the 2Xs, drop that in, drop back to the steps. And this is the area you want to be looking. So I'm gonna move that way with Sledge now. Ideally, I'd be leaning right, but I can't do that because my keyboard, my hands on the other keyboard. But as you just saw Sledge go past there, you can see that's his head right there. So you can either wait, you can shoot between the bars, or you can wait for him to go past. So whichever one you want to go with. If you can get in between the bars, it's a dream scenario. So for this one, we're over in gym. You want to pop out, the same as we've done before, a little double tap on the right side just to pop out one of the panels there. And the area we're looking at here is between the gate and between the building. Now, this also works well for if somebody rappels up the side of the building, but it's from the spawn. They're going to run through the gate and they're going to go past this brick wall, but behind this building. So we're going to go in this angle here. You see the Sledge there? So that's the angle you want to be looking for and getting ready for. You've still got a bit of time to get that shot in there. Obviously, if they're sprinting, they're going past quicker, so you've got to be ready. But my sort of tip for you here is don't ADS the edge of the gate, because you're never going to be able to react in time. You know, I sort of put your crosshair somewhere here, so once you see them, you have got a bit of time to try and react. But you've got to try and make a mental note of where the head is really. As you can see, the head height there is in line with this bar that goes across the gate and just slightly lower. So you've got to just sort of get that ready, because you are not going to have enough time to like flick to the head when they run past like this. So just get that ready. By the time Sledge gets there, his head is sort of there, just below the line of the gate as he comes past. Good luck with it. So now we're on to bank then, and you can do this peek from the square windows. If we just look outside quickly, obviously you've got the windows here and the windows on the far side. You've got more chance of being droned if you go over to square, whereas if you do it from sight, it is a bit easier and you've got more chance of not being seen. Again, pop out the two little bits on the right hand side, and what we're looking for is this area here, which is just after, if I pop out this side as well, you'll see. We're just after this sort of black, whatever this is here, magazine stand, I think it is. Yeah, newspaper magazine stand. So you can do it from either side. Even pop out the middle one if you want to, and hold it from here. So the reason I always say shoot the side, by the way, and don't shoot the glass, I'll use this window as an example. If you hit the glass, unless you hit the glass 3 times, this is what you get, and you can't see out of it anymore. So that's why I always say sort of make sure you shoot it side on, so you shoot the window frame instead. So this is what we're looking for, the side of the magazine stand. As soon as our mate Sledge comes past, there we have it. Now we're over here in stock, and this is one that I've never seen anyone else do. This is some original A-Littleton material. You can see I've already pre-made the holes that we're going to look through, and you need to be facing the door and punch through. Now, if you do it once, you won't get the angle that you need. You need to make several holes, like so, to make the angle, and that's what I've done here. So you can see that there. Now, we punched out or shot out the right-hand side of the barricade. And ignore these holes, obviously these are what I was just using as a demonstration just then. And you can get an angle onto the black car from here. Now as Sledge is going to come past, you're going to see him swing through this area here. And this is the fella you want to be taking out. Now the thing is, from an attacker's point of view, if they see this door open behind the wall, so you'd hope that if someone's approaching this area, the first thing they'll do is shoot like this. And obviously with you being on the off angle, on this angle, you should be safe. But I really like it. It's had some success for me in the past. It's a bit cheeky through another wall, but yeah, give it a go. So we moved on to Canal now, one of the rated maps in the rank pool, and I'll stick by that. Everyone hates Canal, and I genuinely don't know why. I actually think it's a decent map. I don't know why everybody hates it. Anyway, what we're aiming for here is the top half of the panel with the X on, so just this one here. Left-hand side, double tap it. We want to be looking at this area here. The Sledge, or anyone that spawns here, is going to be walking in between those pallets and this staircase. As they come past, it's an absolute freebie. If they don't come past there, you can go further back and they can go behind these pallets instead as well. I'll give you both demonstrations, but this is in front of the pallets. This is the angle they'll be on. That's what you're going to be looking for there. And if you go behind the pallets, it's going to be a bit further back. You need to be a bit further around this direction. You can catch them here. but most people are going to walk in front of these, in front of those pallets there. And the angle you want to be holding is not just wide open like this. Obviously, you want to be tight to this here. And just holding that there. I can't lean at the same time as making Sledge walk past, but as you get past, this is the angle you want to be on. This is where you're going to find them. We're top yellow stairs now. In classic, you see it all the time in ranked. You want to be popping the bottom half of the cross, the right-hand side of the panel there. The place you want to be looking is on this brick wall here. Now, you've just got to be careful because you can't see what I'm about to show you, but the attackers, if they don't come around this brick wall, they can drop off the ledge here, and then they can get an angle on you where you can't see them. So if you hear anyone drop, you know that they've dropped here and not come around the brick. So if you hear the drop, get off the window immediately. But this is the angle you want to be holding, just here. As tight as you can. This is where Sledge is going to walk past, just there. So just again, get a reminder where your head height's going to be. It's going to be roughly there, give or take. That's what you want to be ADS, and that's what you want to be waiting for. Bosh. So we're adjacent to the main breach now. As I call this mud room, but I know other people call it other things. And what you want to be doing here is just peeking in and out each time you want to you want to peek. Obviously, you don't want to let them know that you've been spotted outside, because then they know you're going to be there. And what you're looking for is a head that's going to appear either along this line here, or a bit further out on this line here behind the ducting. Now, you can't really hit, you can just get it there where you're outside without being spotted, and you can hold this here. Now, it's difficult because if you're holding here, someone might come up here, and if you're holding here, someone might come up here. You've just got to be looking both sides all the time. Don't stand outside till you get spotted, or they're going to know you're there, obviously. I'm going to have to do that myself because I can't lean and move the other controller, but this is what you're looking at. You can see Sledge's head there. That's what you want to be aiming for. So you're not going to have a massive spray. You're just going to hold this sort of area and try and get a one-tap off. And if you can, it's GN. So there we have it. They're the spawn peaks across Clubhouse, Oregon, Bank, and Canal. There are more, of course. If you know any particularly good ones, get them in the comments below. I'd love to have a go at them myself. If there's any maps that we haven't discussed today and you'd like to see that, also bang it in the comments and we can add that onto the list to do next. So that wraps things up this time, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.